A very good morning, everybody. The urinary system, which consists of a pair of kidneys, their ureters, urinary bladder, and the urethra. So this entire system we call it as a urinary system. And among this, I already discussed about the theory of the theory of the kidney. But now I will discuss on the gross, that means the practical session on the kidney with the specimen demonstrating all the features, the presenting parts of the kidney. Let's come. This is the organ kidney. You all know that kidneys are a pair of excretory organs which elaborate the urine and eliminate the nitrogenous waste products of protein metabolism from the blood. And not only that, these kidneys are responsible for maintaining the electrolyte and the water balance of the body. In addition, these kidneys secrete renin, which is an hormone which is an auto-regulation of the blood flow and the blood pressure. And not only that, it also secretes the erythropoietin, which is for the maturation of the RBC cells. Okay, and not only that, it also maintains the calcium metabolism also. Now coming to this kidney, all these things I have told you in the theory part. Now coming to the measurements of the kidney. The kidney has got length is about 11 centimeters in length. The breadth is about 6 centimeters in breadth. The thickness of the kidney, if you see, it is 3 centimeters in length. The weight of the kidney, if you see, it is about 150 to 170 grams in males and about 130 to 150 grams in females. Clear? So roughly in average, if you take this will be around some 140 to 150 grams in weight. Okay. Coming to the palpability. So the palpability of the kidney, if you see, normally the kidney cannot be palpated. It is palpated only in the thin people, and that too it is palpated by placing the two hands, one hand in the loin region and the other in the anterior abdominal wall, and the patient or the subject is asked to take the deep inspiration, so that by this the kidney is palpated, and this process of palpitation of the kidney is called as the bimanual examination. And not only that, these kidneys are kept in position by some factors. The factors which keeps the kidney in position are: first is the pressure exerted by the neighboring viscera. Number 2 is the deposition of the renal fascia and the distribution of renal fat. Number 3 is the vessels, the renal vessels like renal artery, renal vein. These are all will also make this kidney lie in position. And the coverings of kidney within, outside. First you have the fibrous capsule. Number 2 is the perinephric fat. Number 3 is the renal fascia. Number 4 is the paranephric fat. And in detail about this fibrous capsule, perinephric fat, renal fascia and the paranephric fat already I have discussed you in the theory class. Okay. Now next move on to the presenting parts of the kidney. This kidney has got an upper pole. This is upper pole. Okay. Then it has got the lower pole. It has got two poles. It has got an anterior surface. Okay. This is the posterior surface. See this posterior surface, if you see, the posterior surface is flat. This posterior surface is flat. I am talking about posterior surface. Posterior surface is flat. Okay. Next thing, it is non-peritoneal. Okay. And not only that, this posterior surface is related to some structures like, it is related to the medial and lateral arcuate ligament. Then it is related to the ribs, 11 and 12 ribs if it is left kidney. If it is right kidney, only 12th rib is related to the posterior surface. Not only that, this posterior surface is also related, the lower part of the posterior surface is also related to the muscles like, from medial to lateral side, the psoas major, the quadratus lumborum, okay, the transversus abdominis muscle. Not only these muscles, it is also related to the nerves like, the nerves like iliohypogastric nerve, ilioinguinal nerve, okay, the subcostal nerve. The vessels like subcostal vessel, subcostal artery, subcostal nerve. all these are the structures related to the posterior surface of the kidney. Now coming to the anterior surface. Now in the anterior surface, now this anterior surface is convex. It is convex, whereas the posterior surface is flat. The posterior surface is flat, but the anterior surface is convex. And not only that, this anterior surface of the kidney, it is partially covered with the peritoneum. Okay, so kidneys are retroperitoneal organs. Only one side of the anterior surface of the kidney which is covered by the peritoneum, that too partially. The posterior surface of the kidney is non-peritoneal. And this anterior surface, as I said, it is convex and it is partially covered with peritoneum. This anterior surface of the kidney is related to some viscera, and these visceras are different on left kidney and right kidney. Now the kidney which I am holding is the right kidney. I will tell you how to identify the side of the kidney also. Now which I am holding is the right kidney. So on the anterior surface of right kidney, you will see the suprarenal gland over here in the upper pole. In the upper pole you see the suprarenal gland, which is suprarenal area. Okay, not only that, along the medial border here you get the duodenal. The second part of duodenum is related. Okay, then we have here, this is the hepatic area which is related to the liver. Okay, and not only that, at the lower pole here you have the colic area where you see the right colic flexure is related, and jejunal area is here, and here we see the some coils of jejunum are related. So suprarenal impression, duodenal impression, hepatic impression, colic impression, and jejunal impression. These are all the impressions which are related. These are all the visceral relations which are related to anterior surface of the right kidney. If you see the anterior surfaces of relations of the anterior surface of left kidney, here you will have the suprarenal area, suprarenal gland, spleen is related, gastric, that means the stomach is related, the pancreas are related, then the colic impression is seen, jejunal impression is seen. So okay, all these are the anterior relations of the left kidney. Is it clear? So this is about the anterior surface and the posterior surface. Next, coming to the upper pole, this upper end is thicker and it is more rounded. This is upper end. This is upper end of the kidney. This upper end of the kidney, it is rounded and more thicker than the lower end. Lower end is something like it is pointed and it is narrow, but this is rounded, thick. Okay, and this upper end is situated about 2.5 centimeters from the median plane opposite to 12th thoracic vertebra. 12th thoracic vertebra. Then coming to the lower end, this lower end is directed downwards, okay, and laterally. Kidney will be like this, downwards and lateral, because axis will be downwards and laterally. So this lower end, lower end is here. This lower end is directed downwards and laterally, and it is about 7.5 centimeters away from the midline, opposite to the third lumbar vertebra. Opposite to the third lumbar vertebra. This is about the upper pole and the lower pole. Then coming to the borders, this is the lateral border. This is the lateral border. This is the medial border. So lateral border, it is convex. Lateral border is convex. Okay. Next, what do you call? It is more thick. It is more thicker than the medial border. And this is the medial border. This medial border is convex in upper part and convex in the lower part, but in the middle where the hilus is present, this is concave part. So this is the hilum, which is a concave part. This is lower convex, this is upper convex, and in the middle, in the central portion, it is concave due to the presence of the hilum. Okay, and this hilum is situated 5 centimeters from the midline opposite to the lower border of first lumbar vertebra. So this hilum is situated about 5 centimeters from the midline opposite to the first lumbar vertebra. Clear? And moreover, coming to the structures passing in the hilum. If you see the structures passing in the hilum from before backwards, from before backwards, the structures are like, this is a renal vein, this is a renal vein, this is the renal artery, and this is the pelvis of the ureter. So from before backwards at the hilum, the structures from before backwards is renal vein, renal artery, and renal pelvis. This is, and this is very important. The relations are very important at the hilum from before backwards. So whenever there is an examiner asks you what are the structures, you have to say renal vein, renal artery, and the pelvis of the ureter. These are the three structures which are situated at the hilum from before backwards. Yeah. Coming to the anatomical position of the kidney. Okay. Now with the kidney which I am holding is right kidney. Now why this is right kidney? Now I am placing this upper pole is thicker and rounded. Lower pole is thin and is pointed. Anterior surface is convex. Posterior surface is flat, and this is a lateral border which I have to place laterally, and this is the medial border. Why this medial border? Because this is in the center we have the hilum, and more importantly the structures at the hilum. Anteriorly the vein, next followed by the artery, then the renal ureter, the pelvic part of the ureter. These are the structures which are placed from before backwards. Now the same kidney if I hold like this. Okay, now what is happening? The upper pole is above. Okay, this actually this is the lower pole. Now I placed it in a wrong way. Now what is happening here? The renal pelvis is coming front. So this should be most posterior structure at the hilum. So if I place in this way, the renal pelvis is coming anterior. No, the renal pelvis should be always posterior. So this ureter should be placed posterior. Vein should be anterior. Next is the artery, and next is the vein. This is the format. The structures has to be placed at the hilum. Now the same kidney if I place in my left hand and I say this is the left kidney. Let's see what happens. See, upper end is broad and thicker. Okay, lower end is flat, lower end is pointed. Now this is the, in fact this is the posterior surface which is flat. It has to be placed posteriorly, but I have placed it anteriorly. Okay, and next thing, the structures at hilum, you look at what is happening. The ureter, instead of being the posterior most structure, it has become anterior structure. So the structures at the hilum has to be very, very important. They play a major role in identifying the side of the kidney and holding it in position. And one more important thing is that this ureter should be placed. Now you see, now this posterior surface I have made it like this. Now what is happening? This ureter, now vein is front, next is the artery, next is the ureter. But the direction of the ureter should be downwards, not upwards. The direction of the ureter should be downwards. So like this, the ureter has to be moving downwards. It should not fall like this. So the pelvic part of ureter always should be running downwards. It has to move downwards. So these structures will make us to identify, or these structures will make us sure to know the side of the kidney and as well as the the anatomical position of the kidney. Is it clear? Yeah. Now coming to the macroscopic structure or interior of the kidney, if you see, if you make a coronal section, if you make a section like this is called as coronal section. In the coronal section, if you cut the kidney and if you open up, you are seeing this. So you have two things over here. One is this area which is called as the inner medulla, and this outer part is called as the cortex. So this is the outer part which is the cortex, and the inner this part is called as the medulla. You can see in this specimen also very clearly. See this is the outer cortex, and this part, this is called as inner medulla. In this specimen also, this is outer cortex and this is the inner medulla. Now when you talk the medulla, this medulla presents some pyramids. These are called as the pyramids. These are the pyramids. This one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so on. So usually this medulla contains about 8 to 18 renal pyramids, and all these pyramids are striated. They are striated. Okay, and next thing is that these are conical masses. These pyramids are conical masses where the bases are directed towards the cortex. So this is one pyramid structure. The apex is towards the renal, towards the renal sinus. This is renal papilla, towards the renal papilla, and this is the base. So base is towards the cortex. So this pyramid is a conical mass, and each pyramid has got a base and the apex. The base is directed towards the cortex, whereas the apex is directed towards the renal papilla. Okay, and now each papilla will be perforated by 16 to 20 or 25 ducts of Bellini, from where they receive by the minor calyx. Okay, yeah. Next thing, if you see the cortex, the cortex is the glandular in appearance and consists of renal columns, and cortical arches. Now what is this renal columns? Now between the renal columns are nothing but the renal columns which extends from the renal sinus between the adjacent pyramids, okay, and traversed by the interlobar vessels. So these renal columns are nothing but which are the part of the cortex which extends to the renal sinus. This one, can you see this one? This is one pyramid. This is the renal column. So this renal column, it is between the adjacent pyramids. So this is one renal column. Here is one renal column in this specimen. Go, yeah. See here, this is one pyramid, and this is a renal column. So this renal column is present between the adjacent pyramids, and these renal columns which will contain the renal corpuscles, and also these renal columns are traversed by interlobar blood vessels. And this next thing is the cortical arches. The cortical arches which intervenes between the bases of the pyramid and surface of the kidney. This one. So here this is one pyramid. This is one base of pyramid. Okay. So from here these renal arches, so the cortical arches which intervenes between the base of the pyramid and the surface of the kidney. So this is one arch. Likewise, this is one arch. So between the bases of the pyramid and the surface of the kidney, the area of the cortex, we call that as the cortical arches. Is it clear? Yeah. And these cortical arches are divided again into outer zones and inner zones. That's again a different story about the cortex of the kidney. Okay, and later on these cortical arches are occupied by the juxtamedullary nephrons. Okay, and arch consists of the numerous medullary rays also. These arches contains numerous medullary rays and also convoluted parts. Okay, that's about the renal the cortex, the cortical arches. And not only that, there is one thing which is called as a renal sinus here. So this renal sinus, renal sinus is nothing but this is a cavity within the kidney which communicates outside through the hilum. Okay, and the wall of the sinus is lined by the renal capsule. And not only that, this renal sinus, this renal sinus, it contains renal blood vessels, lymphatics, and also the nerves. And you see some fat. You can see the fat also. This is the perinephric fat. Okay. Next, these are the minor calyces. This one. This is one minor calyx, and this is also the minor calyx. This is minor calyx. This is a sinus. This is a sinus, but this is the calyx. This is one minor calyx. This is so the minor calyces are 7 to 13 in number, and these are the dilated outer ends. Presents a cup-shaped depression. This one, a cup-shaped depression. They are a cup-shaped depression to receive the renal papillae. See, this is the renal papillae. This is one renal papillae. So this is one renal papilla. They are receiving the renal papillae. So the cup-shaped depression dilated portions and receives the renal papillae. Okay, and the major calyx. This is the major calyx. 2 to 3 in number, and they are formed by the union of the minor calyx. So these minor calyxes will form to, they join to form, or they fuse to form this part which is called as a major calyx. Major calyx. And then this is a pelvic ureter. This is the pelvic part of the ureter. This is the pelvic part of the ureter. So again, these are the minor calyxes. This is a major calyx, and this is the pelvic ureter. The pelvic ureter present as a funnel shaped dilatation which is formed by the union of major calyxes. So all these major calyxes will form the pelvic part of the ureter, and the pelvic passes downwards and medially through the hilum and continues with the abdominal part of the ureter. This is all about the macroscopic structure of the kidney. Yeah. Is it okay? This is about the macroscopic part of the kidney. Now when I place it like this, you can see here like. So again I repeat, upper pole, lower pole, lateral border, this is the medial border, and this is the hilum of the kidney. Anterior surface is convex, posterior surface is flat. The medial surface, here in the center we have a depression concavity which is called as a hilum, and structures of the hilum are renal vein anteriorly from before backwards, renal vein, then we have the renal artery, and next we have this structure which is called as renal, which is called as the pelvic part of the ureter, and this is the ureter. So these structures are very important in knowing the side of the kidney, and also it plays a major role in holding the kidney in position. Okay, always remember this pelvic part of ureter should be facing downwards. It has to face, it should not go like this. If you face it, it get twist. It should not get twist. It has to be placed, it should run downwards. In this kidney you can see clearly. See here. So this is the renal vein, this is the renal artery, this is the renal pelvis, this is paranephric part. Okay, and if it has to face like this, it should not get twist. The renal pelvis should not get twisted up. It has to run downwards medially like this. So this is all about the gross features and the practical session of the the kidney. Okay, this is interior. I hope you all people have understood about all these presenting parts and the macroscopic structure and the structures at the hilum. Clear? Thank you.